Coming up on Hashtag That.
We're back with the latest Hollywood news updates. We've got everything from Selena Gomez's new documentary to Elton John's White House honor.
All that and more from Hamden to Hollywood, we're your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
From Hamden to Hollywood,
we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome back to Hashtag That. I'm Julia Maroli.
And I'm Julia Kuzmenko. Let's dive into some new Hollywood scoop.
Johnny Depp is dating his lawyer, and no, it is not Camille Vasquez. This comes as a shock after Depp's trial 3 months ago in Virginia, where there were many rumors floating around on social media about their relationship. They both denied these claims, especially Vasquez, who has been in a relationship with Edward Owens. His new flame, Joel Rich, was one of his lawyers from his 2018 libel trial in the UK against The Sun. This is his first public appearance since his divorce from Amber Heard in 2017. Last Tuesday, the season finale of The Bachelorette premiered and left fans shocked. The episode started off with Rachel and Tino getting engaged, but then took a sour turn when we found out that Tino cheated on Rachel only weeks after the show's filming wrapped. Rachel confronted Tino and decided to leave him, making her single at the end of the season. Gabby and Eric also got engaged and are still happily together. This comes after Eric's scandal, where he was asked about his text messages with an ex-girlfriend, to where he admitted that he was in a relationship for about a month and went on to the show with different motives, but ended up finding love instead.
This week, Apple TV Plus released the official teaser of Selena Gomez's new documentary, My Mind and Me. From the 30-second trailer, the documentary will feature footage of Selena over the past 6 years and give deeper insight into her private life and struggles with mental health. When Apple TV Plus announced the documentary on September 8th, they said, quote, "Just as she reaches a new peak, an unexpected turn pulls her into darkness. This uniquely raw and intimate documentary spans her 6-year journey into a new light." Fans patiently await the documentary to see behind the scenes of Selena Gomez's life. Check out Selena Gomez's My Mind and Me November 4th on Apple TV Plus. In other news, Alec Baldwin welcomed his 7th child with Hilaria Baldwin this past Thursday. The couple shared the news of Hilaria Catalina Irina Baldwin's birth over social media by saying, quote, "She's here. We are so excited to introduce you to our tiny dream come true," end quote. With Hilaria's birth, Alec Baldwin is now a father of 8 at age 64. The actor had his first child, Ireland Baldwin, with ex Kim Basinger before marrying Hilaria in 2012. Ever since, Alec and Hilaria have grown their family and are overjoyed to welcome Hilaria. Over Instagram, Hilaria confirmed that Hilaria was born September 22nd and said, quote, "She and I are happy and healthy," end quote.
Disney Plus released the first 3 episodes to the Star Wars Rogue One prequel, Andor. Here to give us their thoughts is AJ Gugliotta and Tim Malone.
Hey, hashtag, it's AJ.
And I'm Tim.
And we just finished the 3-episode premiere of Endor.
Andor is a spin-off Star Wars show from the movie Rogue One, starring Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna. And it kind of details his origin stories as like a rebel/smuggler. So AJ, what did you think about like the set pieces of the show?
Well, I'm glad you asked because this is the first Star Wars show with practical sets, and it 100% shows when we're watching this show. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi was a little bit disappointing with the set pieces overall, and Mando 2, they used the same sets. But this show is doing a lot more practical stuff, and I'm very much enjoying seeing all that in action.
I think it's really clean. I like kind of like the rustic aesthetic of like what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
And it creates really good world building. So I think it's some really cool
It
stuff.
definitely sets you up in the world a lot better than I think than like Mando or even Obi-Wan recently has done for us.
I think world building is like going to be like a huge theme for this show because it's not a traditional Star Wars story. It's kind of disconnected from usual Star Wars characters. It really is like its own story just set in the universe. So I think a lot of hardcore fans are really going to like that.
But what do you think about episode 3? Because lots of people have been talking about episode 3 and how it finally picks up the story. What do you think of this very suspenseful episode?
I thought the acting was like super intense for a Star Wars show. Like even just down to the facial features of like the antagonists of the show. Like it was like super intense.
So you were saying this is definitely one of the grittier stories that Star Wars has told so far.
It definitely feels like a lot grittier, like a lot more mature, like it has that edge. And you'll see that like with the dialogue and some of the subject matter, like it doesn't like obviously like I feel like it is for like a broad audience, but at the same time it feels like it's going to be a darker story.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the series.
you mentioned too, but this is the first time a character has sworn on screen
Right, people
for the series.
people
So
on the internet are kind of going wild about it, and it's not even like a huge swear word. It's not a huge deal, but like it's kind of like it's shocking to see in this IP, you know, Star Wars.
yeah, it shows them, I think, going in a more mature direction, like you said, and that means they could even make more mature stories in the future.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be watching the rest of this show. Again, only 3 episodes out of the 12 have been released. I'm already impressed. So I'm excited to see how this show ends. And yeah, that's all we got time for today. So until next time, hashtag.
Thanks, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spotting on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hope you enjoyed the little break because we have a great inside look of the Sound on Sound Festival by Grace Doyle. What do you have for us, Grace?
Hey hashtag, it's Grace with your first monthly music spotlight of the semester. On Saturday, I got to visit the first day of the inaugural Sound on Sound Music Festival. It was held at Seaside Park in Bridgeport, Connecticut with 2 dual stages overlooking the water. The concert was packed with fans, food from local vendors and restaurants, and of course some amazing musicians whose sets I'll be reviewing here tonight. I got to the festival around 2 p.m. and I was able to catch Jenny Lewis's set. Jenny was one of the artists I knew nothing about going into the festival, but it's safe to say that I left a fan. A highlight of her set was definitely her song Puppy in a Truck, which she wrote about her 2-year-old dog. After her performance, I got some food from a local vendor and made it back in time to catch most of the Revivalist set, which included their hit song Wish I Knew You. Then it was time for one of my most anticipated performances of the day. I've been following the band's camp for about 2 years now, and seeing them live has been a goal ever since. They played an amazing set, which included songs off of their recently released album, Lavender Days. Up next was Zach Bryan, who is, in my opinion, one of the best modern country musicians out there. Unfortunately, the beginning of his set was kind of rocky due to technical difficulties. However, him being the showman that he is, Zach played through the rest of his set effortlessly. Watching him play Something in the Orange at sunset is something that I seriously will never forget. Finally, it was time for our first headliner, the Lumineers. The band delivered to the massive audience, playing a set which consisted of their hits such as Ho Hey and Ophelia, and some songs off of their new album, Brightside. Having this band headline was a perfect decision in my opinion. They gave one of the best performances of the night. Father John Misty played in between headliners. I enjoy his music and he put on a great show, but it's really tough to put on a performance right before the legendary Stevie Nicks. Stevie was the final act and the final headliner. I am a huge Stevie fan. She's been an idol of mine since I was a kid. Seeing her live meant the world to me. I'm not gonna lie, the tickets were expensive, but it was worth every penny just to see her performance. She put on one of the best concerts I've ever seen. She spoke directly to the audience in between songs and made sure to express gratitude to those who have been waiting all day to see her. The festival had already been amazing, but watching her perform Gold Dust Woman, Rhiannon, and Edge of 17, it really just made the night. That's it from me, back to you guys.
A lot has happened this week in the entertainment world. Here to tell us all about it is Lane Debin with Hollywood Highs and Lows.
Hey guys, this week I'm here with the Hollywood Highs and Lows. Let's get started with the high. Disney Plus's High School Musical, the musical, the series, Season 4 is staging a mini reunion with some of the original cast. The stars coming back are Corbin Bleu, Lucas Grabeel, Casey Stroll, Monique Coleman, Bart Johnson, and Allison Reed. Creators of the series, Tim Felder, said to Entertainment Tonight, quote, "This show has always been built on the shoulders of the OGs, and we wouldn't have a show without that incredible original trilogy. I think we can all exist under the same metaphorical roof of East High. You can expect some familiar faces from the past, but the real drive is ultimately the series cast," end quote. On Saturday, Post Malone had to cancel a show he was scheduled to play in Boston, saying in a tweet, quote, "I woke up to cracking sounds on the right side of my body. I felt so good last night, but today it feels so different than it has before. I'm having a very difficult time breathing, and there's a stabbing pain whenever I breathe or move. We're in the hospital now, but with this pain, I can't do the show tonight." This comes after a nasty fall Post Malone took last week at a show where he accidentally stepped into an open trap door on stage during a show in St. Louis, Missouri, cracking a few ribs. Hopefully, he will have a speedy recovery and will be out performing soon. And lastly, Elton John has given an amazing performance at the White House lawn during a musical evening hosted by President Joe Biden and Dr. Joe Biden. After John's last song, the Bidens took to the stage with Elton and surprised him with the National Humanities Medal. A flabbergasted John said, quote, "I'm humbled and honored by this incredible award from the United States of America. I will treasure this so much and will make me double my efforts to make sure this disease goes away. America's kindness to me as a musician is second to none, but in a war against AIDS and HIV, it's even bigger, and I can't thank you enough. I'm really, really emotional about this. Thank you," end quote. That's all I have for this week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Julia Schnarr is back with another great movie review of the film Do Revenge. What do you have for us, Julia?
Hey hashtag, I'm Julia Schnarr here today to tell you all about Netflix's new drama comedy, Do Revenge. I gotta be honest with you guys, I didn't love this film, and it's not because that the actresses weren't great or the costumes weren't great. It was just really confusing the whole time, and none of the characters I really felt like I could relate to. I watched this with a couple of my friends, and one of them said that it was hard to understand because no one knew who the protagonist was. This movie stars Camila Mendes and Maya Hawke, two very famous actresses. Camila Mendes was in Riverdale, and Maya Hawke was in Stranger Things. It kind of reminded me of Clueless and Mean Girls. So if you've ever seen those two films, that was like the current day version of that. The whole premise to this is that there's this really popular girl in school who gets an inappropriate movie leaked, and her boyfriend is not remorseful at all. She meets Maya Hawke's character, Eleanor, who ends up being one of her close friends in this film. They end up wanting to help each other with their own revenge stories, so they're doing revenge for each other. There you go. It does take place in a high school, but it looks like it takes place in a Beverly Hills mansion because of the amount of wealth and things that these kids have in high school that I would never ever have. Like, they have shots of them like next to fountains and like really rich places, lavish mansions. It's just kind of unrealistic. I mean, it's great to look at, of course, but no high schooler would have an experience like that, in my opinion at least. So the screenplay definitely felt like it was written by somebody who wasn't of this generation. There were some jokes from like old TV shows that I was like, kids are not gonna understand these references, including myself. I was like, I don't get the joke. It's not that funny. So the biggest thing I didn't like about this movie is that there was no lesson to be learned. We didn't really have any characters that were like outstanding in what they did or said, or, you know, just provided like some sort of role model for younger viewers especially. I feel like mostly movies when I was growing up, I would see somebody in a movie that I thought was really cool and I wanted to emulate them. This movie is not one of those films. You don't want to be like anybody in this movie, to be honest. Now, I am not against this movie completely. I think that the fashion and the costume design is very prevalent. I'll actually list some of my favorite costumes here if you guys want to see them. Next time, Netflix will come out with something better, and I will watch it, and I will review it with my good friend Emily again. So thanks for watching this movie review. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!
Stay tuned for some Hollywood news updates after this commercial break.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
We're back with the Hollywood News Update, and here to spill all the latest news on all things Hollywood. Here with us this week is Kat Tallman. What do you got for us, Kat?
What's up, guys? We have so much news out in Hollywood, so let's jump right into the Hollywood News Update. So, I can't be the only one whose Twitter feed is full of Adam Levine's DMs. This week, Instagram model Summer Stroth went viral on TikTok for posting a video revealing odd messages with the Maroon 5 singer. Messages include naming his future child with his wife after Summer and extremely cringy flirting. Social media is outraged by Levine's disloyalty to his wife, model Bati Prinsloo. He has released a statement trying to fix his mistakes, saying that my wife and my family is all I care about in this world. To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing that truly matters to me was the greatest mistake I could ever make. What is your reaction? Do you guys think this is important to be in the public eye, or do you think it should have been kept private? What do you guys think is in store for Adam Levine?
Well, I wasn't an Adam Levine fan before, and I'm not going to start now. I think that relationships should be kept private, especially for celebrities. I think that this definitely left a sour taste about Adam. So how do you feel?
I agree. I mostly just feel bad for his wife and his children, especially being named after somebody who you're, not doing you're not having a proper relationship with, and just stepping outside of those boundaries.
All right, what do you say, Kat?
I am not feeling Adam Levine's behavior. I don't think it's classy. I don't think you should be naive to be behaving that way on social media. But in other news, the world turned upside down yesterday after Rihanna posted a photo of just her wrist holding up an NFL football. Using our context clues, it has been confirmed that Rihanna will be hosting the Super Bowl halftime show this year at the State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona on February 12, 2023. Last Rihanna performance was February 27, 2019. So after 4 years, Rihanna arises. In the same year, 2019, Rihanna turned down the Super Bowl gig in support of Colin Kaepernick. She said, "For what? Who gains from that? Not my people. I just couldn't be a sellout. I couldn't be an enabler. There's things within that organization I do not agree with at all, and I was not about to go and be service to them in any way." I wonder what has changed within the NFL to make Rihanna willing to perform. What do you guys think? Are you excited for this year's show? Are you supportive of Rihanna's decision to perform?
I am, first of all, so excited that Rihanna's performing. I truly love her, and I've always loved her since I was little. I agree with her stance in 2019 to not do the halftime show with NFL. I think that was appropriate now, but I am so excited now. How about you, Kuz?
Absolutely. I respect her decision to stand back in 2019. I think that was her choice. However, I'm so excited to see her perform, and I thought that her announcement was incredible, of just the picture of her holding the football. She didn't need to say anything, and it was wonderful. So I'm so excited. How about you, Kat?
I am so excited to see Rihanna. It is going to be amazing. And lastly, everyone's favorite freaky, creepy actor is back, making viewers uncomfortable. Evan Peters stars in the Netflix show Dahmer, The Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. The show follows Peters as Jeffrey Dahmer in Milwaukee during the 80s and 90s. The serial killer show is a little different than the other biopics. It has been a topic on social media that they make these horrible men into likable people on film, like when Zac Efron played suave Ted Bundy. This is not that. Audiences are repulsed and shocked with what they see from the American Horror Story actor. I will definitely be tuning in. I think Evan Peters is looking at an Emmy with this performance. What do you guys think? Are you guys the type of people to enjoy twisted content, or will you be running far, far away from Jeffrey Dahmer?
I agree that the trend of making these horrible figures appealing to entertainment is not the move, so I think that their turn to make it more realistic, it will be very interesting. I most likely will watch the first episode, and depending on how gruesome that is, we'll see if I will move on. But how do you feel, Marley?
I don't like any murder type shows or anything, so I'm gonna stay away from this one. How about you, Kat?
I will be watching a little bit of this show. I'm very excited, but that's all I have for this week's Hollywood News Update. I'm Kat Tallman. Thank you, and back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kat. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Thanks for sticking with us. Last night was the Big Brother Season 24 finale, and here to break it down is Liz Ippolito. What do you have for us, Liz?
Hey hashtag, I'm Liz Ippolito, and this week I'm talking about the Big Brother Season 24 finale that happened just last night. Just to recap, Big Brother is a reality show on CBS in its 24th season where each summer 16 house guests enter a house and have no contact with the outside world. While in the house there are cameras rolling 24/7 to catch their every move. The group competes in competitions to be the last person left in the house at the end of summer to win $250,000. For those who have not watched the finale last night, a major spoiler alert is in effect. The finale started with 3 house guests left, Turner, Monty, and Taylor. And to start off the night with part 1 of the final head of household competition. Part 1 consisted of a physical endurance competition, which was won by Turner. Part 2 was a mix of a physical and a memory competition that was between Taylor and Monty, and by a 15-second lead, Monty beat Taylor. In part 3, Monty battled Turner in a memory competition, which by a 1-point difference, Monty ultimately won. This is where things get good. Monty had a final 2 deal with both Taylor and Turner, but putting him in a rough spot. Ultimately, Monty backstabbed Turner and took Taylor to the final 2. After harsh questioning from evicted house guests, Taylor brought out the ex-beauty queen in her and flawlessly answered all the questions, while Monty seemed to answer pretty nervously. Taylor then delivered one of the best pleas in Big Brother history, talking about strength and resilience, which we'll take a look at right here.
I am not a shield, I am a sword. I am not a victim, I am a victor. And if there is one word that is going to describe the entire season, it is resiliency. And if you are to ask yourself who the most resilient person of this season has been, it is me.
In the end, by a vote of 8-1, Taylor ended up beating Monty, and surprisingly, Monty's 1 vote was given to him by Turner, which he had backstabbed minutes prior. What makes this season so special is that this is the first season where a black woman has won. Not only did Taylor end up winning the $750,000, she also ended up winning America's Favorite Player and winning an extra $50,000, which has never been done before. A winner has never also won America's Favorite Player. Now, what do I think of this? I couldn't have asked for a better end to a great season. I have favored Taylor since episode 1 and still believe she could win on finale night. After all the adversity she faced in the house, she has faced false accusations by evicted house guests and berated by them as well. Not only this, but she was nominated 6 times for eviction and survived every single one. Taylor has been an inspiration to Big Brother fans everywhere, and no one in the final 3 deserved it or worked harder than her to get there. That's a wrap on my Big Brother 24 season finale review. Back to you guys at the desk.
This week we have a new game called #DebateThat, where we'll be debating our favorite movies to see which one comes out on top. All right, first is Shrek vs. Shrek 2. So, while I think Shrek 1 perfectly sets up the characters, I think Shrek 2 is a bit more quirky, a bit more fun. How do you feel, Marley?
I agree. Shrek 2 is actually my favorite movie on Letterboxd, unironically. And I think that you already know the characters and you're starting off already knowing them, so you don't even need to, you can just jump right into the movie.
Living La Vida Loca, incredible. All right, Grand Budapest versus Moonrise Kingdom.
I honestly like Grand Budapest better. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's because it came out a little bit after, like I think 2 years after Moonrise Kingdom. I think it's one of the better movies that Wes Anderson has made. What about you?
Well, Wes Anderson is iconic. His style is so recognizable, but I think I have to give it to you. I think Grand Budapest is just visually stunning, and I will never get tired of watching that movie. So I think I'm with you on that.
Next is Ferris Bueller's Day Off versus The Breakfast Club. I personally am going to say Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think The Breakfast Club is a little too overrated for me. And I just think Ferris Bueller's Day Off is like, it's a feel-good movie. You're always having fun when you're watching it. What about you?
I agree. I love Ferris. That has a special place in my heart. However, I think you cannot knock The Breakfast Club. It's icon. I mean, I'm not going to say iconic again, but I think it's so relatable to people, and it will be timeless movie. So, it has a place. So. All right, up next is The Hunger Games versus Catching Fire.
I would have to say Catching Fire. Again, kind of with my point with Shrek 2, it's just you're jumping right in the movie, and it brings a new kind of story than traditionally what The Hunger Games is, and I think it's better. How about you?
Yeah, this was a great series. I think I love the first one. I love J-Law, but you're right. I think they're both great. All right. All right. So, celeb celebrations. Saturday Night Live turns 48. This season is the first without A.D. Bryant, Pete Davidson, Kate McKinnon, and Kyle Mooney. Although we have 4 new cast members not returning, we have 4 new ones. They go by the names of Marcelo Hernandez, Molly Kearney, Michael Longfellow, and Devin Walker. Musical guest performances are coming in strong this season.
Happy birthday to Serena Williams. The tennis player turns 41 today, and we hope she has one grand slam of a birthday. Another birthday today is Lily Singh, who turns 34 today. We are kicking off Libra season right.
That's all we have on #that.
Make sure to follow us on all our social media accounts and download the Q30 app on the App Store to stay up to date.
I'm Julie Kuzmenko.
And I'm Julie Marulli. Thank you for watching #that from the producers, talent, and everyone working hard behind the scenes. Thank you for watching. We will see you again next week.